Welcome back for another video. Today we're going to review the suspension of the Mule, and we're also going to make an adjustment. I started noticing that as the machine was hitting bumps in the front, I wanted it to be a little stiffer. So I'm going to show you how to adjust that. I'm also going to give you some raw footage as to how the suspension actually works for you. So you're going to get a bird's eye view as to what's going on underneath the machine. So I appreciate you watching, and let's get on with the video. What we're looking at here is the rebound and damping adjustment for your suspension, and from the factory it is set in the second notch. You can see how we go down each, there's 5 settings on here, and each will graduate down to a stiffer setting on this spring. And what we're going to do, I'm going to make one adjustment to the 3rd setting, and like I said, from the factory it's in the 2nd position. So we're going to slide down to this guy right here and see how much of a difference we've made. First thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to jack the machine up so we can let tension down off the spring. I'll show you where I'm going to slide the jack, just directly under the center. There's a nice wear plate there. Okay, you can already see the suspension starting to come up. Now I'm going to get you focused back on that spring, and you can watch the tension of the spring itself start relaxing a little bit. And just about the time that tire is going to roll up off the ground, okay, there it comes. Now these springs here are extremely stout. I mean, so the reason I've jacked this up is to let that tension off of that so we can spin this collar a lot easier. If you try to do that when it's under a load there, then you have a lot more force down here on your adjustment. All right, let's move on to the next step. All right guys, what I'm holding here, this is a spanner wrench, and this hook will hook into the adjuster on our shock, and then it just simply goes into a 1/4 inch ratchet. And depending on which direction you need to turn the spring, you can flip this thing over and grab the spring from the opposite side. Okay, you can pick this up at your dealer, wherever you bought your machine at, and they should have one of these in stock. I think it was about $4, $5, something simple. Okay, and again, we're going to put tension on that. We're going to be able to turn that spring. And I'll zoom you back in here so you can see the adjuster as we do this. All right, so again, just simply goes on any socket, and I would pick one of these up. Try to get yourself in a position to where it's comfortable for you. And I've got my hook ready to go. We're simply going to turn this clockwise and bring it up to that 3rd position. Again, from the factory, it's in the 2nd position, and I want to add just a little bit more tension against the spring. So I'm going to number 3 and we'll test it. Now, really good way to smash your finger here, so be careful. Try to get a good leverage point. And this is not difficult. Get the ratchet going the right way here. Alright, and that's all it is. Set this up and see if I can bring you around and give you a better view of that. Okay, now this long slot here is the 1st position. Factory set was at the 2nd position, and now we are in the 3rd position. Those springs are extremely stout, so moving that up that 1/2 inch there will probably add 100 or plus pounds better to the spring tension. I'm not exactly sure of the numbers, but a little bit goes a long way here. You're better off to make your adjustment and then do a test drive and see if that was the outcome that you was looking for. All right, let's move on to the next step. All right, now we're on the driver's side of the machine, and you want to make absolutely sure that you keep everything equal. So don't just adjust one spring. See if we can get in here and grab this guy. There we go. Just that simple. Now the manual for this machine said to take this to the factory to do that, but I've just showed you an easy way. Again, we've jacked the machine up to take the tension off of this spring by letting it loose. I can almost turn that, and that in turn gives us a lot less pressure on this collar, and that goes in conjunction with this spanner wrench, that hook being able to catch into these that they've cut in there for you, and we've spun that around to where we need it. Okay. Alright, we're going to do the back of the machine the same as we did the front. Put the jack underneath so both wheels come up freely. Get this guy moved over. Get out of the way of the camera for you there. Now lifting these machines up like this to take that tension off the spring really helps you, because there's a lot of force there. Let's see if we can see the springs relieving the tension. Right there ought to be just about enough. Alright, and we're going to do the back just like we did the front. See if I can get in here and stay out of you guys' way. Get underneath there where I can get a pretty good grip on it. There we go. That's that one. There we go. Now all 4 shocks are set in the 3rd position. Let's see if we've made a difference. Let's let her down off the jack. You can actually see those springs compress themselves again. This will give you a little more ground clearance as well, by the way. However, for every adjustment you make, you do lose a little bit too. Once you start lifting your springs or putting more tension on your springs, they don't tend to corner as well. But a plus on it is it also gives you a little better traction, because now we're putting more force underneath the tire. So whatever setting is good for you, experiment with it, and hopefully it'll make the machine better for your operation. Alright guys, I can instantly feel a nice difference in this already. And it does appear to me that it's lifted it up some. And it is definitely more, has a little more tension against the springs. Let's do us a test drive and see how we do. All right, there we have it. Again, go to your dealership, get yourself a spanner wrench. I got mine for a 1/4 inch drive ratchet, and that one adjustment made this thing lift up almost a full inch, and I can instantly tell as soon as I sat down in the machine that I'd made the difference that I needed. A little bit goes a long way there. Experiment and get where you need to be. Now, the tighter you make your suspension, you're going to sacrifice in cornering speed, because it simply holds the machine up tighter, so it's going to shift your center of gravity. If you're making tight turns and used to sliding this machine around, just know that every time you adjust your suspension tighter, you're going to start running the risk of this thing wanting to lift up on you. Okay, so be careful. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope this has been helpful for you. Make an adjustment on it, try it out, and if you don't like it, go back and do it again. Now, on the ruler that I had, so the actual rolling footage, I apologize for the sun being in there, but there's nothing I can do about that. But I think it gives you a really good vantage point as to what your suspension is actually doing for you. So watching it travel, if you watch on the yardstick that I had here on the corner of this bumper, we started, our sag was running from the 10-inch mark. You'll see it right down underneath there on the number in the camera. We was pushing up to about almost 11 inches. We made the adjustment, and then we pushed it up to where it was sitting at about 9 3/4, and it started traveling to 10 1/4 and pushing up to 9. Okay, so like I said, that one adjustment on the suspension went a long way. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.